Hello, everyone. Just starting a live stream. Figured I would. Another late light while I can. See if anyone wants to talk for maybe 45 minutes or an hour. We'll drop the link here in a second for people. Think people wanted to come on. If no one shows up within like 10 minutes, then I won't continue this. Oh yeah. I have to post my link in here. All right. So if anyone wanted to come in, I'm live. I'm gonna post. I'm live if anyone wanted to do a live stream. I don't want to repeat myself, but I might. So I really don't want to give how my day was today. I hope everyone's had a good Sunday. It kind of rained today while we were out and about. So that sucked. But I had a bad incident today. I'll talk about it in a second, see if anyone joins. I know Praise is live right now, and I'm not trying to um do anything about that right now because I'm not reviewing any of his content. Right now he's going over stuff that I'm just letting people know in there. If they wanted to join, they're more than welcome. Usually it takes a while for people to join these things, so it's better to just wait. Because, the notifications get out. That's why it's always good to have, like, an opening and, like, intro music. But I'm not sharing this stuff through Streamlabs. Hey, guys. It's a Supreme Team. Let me see if you have a wrench here, because I don't know if you do. Okay, you do. Like I said, chat's open today. I'm not gonna try to be on for too long because I gotta work in the morning. Then I have to do a long drive to go pick up my paycheck, and I have to. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Brain. I have to print something off for work. I'll send that to my wife. She's downstairs right now. Oh, cool. All my aunt said Happy Father's Day to me. Uh, yeah, everyone who's willing and wants to, feel free to hop in. I think I posted the link. If not, oh well. No link for you guys. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope my mic didn't cut out. That would suck. It doesn't look like it from the live stream, so I think I'm good there. All right. Hey Josh, happy Father's Day. Paycheck, what's that? Yeah. Hey brother John, nice to see you. Yeah, it was supposed to be handed out Saturday when I go to collect my I did post the link. Did it not post? Oh well, I'll post it again. Probably and silly. You know what? I don't think it posted. The first one didn't post. Anyway, I need to go pick up my bill due, and the office place that usually I pick it up is closed, so I have to wait till tomorrow to go pick it up because of I guess they were closed on the weekend. So like I spent an hour going up Saturday and going to go pick it up, and it was all for naught, and it just sucked. It was a terrible day. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I got to go out with the kids, and then I did that again today. No problem, the Supreme Key, but pretty much this is an open chat. Almost everyone here. It's a wrench.
Hello.
Hey. Oh man. I had a good gaming session. I didn't go live today. I should have. I had me and my friend we were playing and we were sitting in one spot just camping and hiding out playing zombies on Halo, and these dudes were just passing us up and couldn't find us, and like we were such an obvious place. And they kept running past us. It was so good. Yeah, I was gonna see if you. Oh, actually, because I know talking back at what we talked about in fair and private, going to symbolism though.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something about symbolism because I do think context is important in that case. So everything with that.
Yeah.
Thing.
What up?
Oh, that much.
Private.
Let me know if I'm too windy. I'm in my car right now.
Oh, you should be fine.
Okay.
I'll just mute you if anything.
All right.
I'm hoping Alien comes in here so I can apologize. That would be best to apologize
Yeah.
in a format where you can actually hear me apologize.
My favorite thing about it, like last night, is like I wish I had the go. Like he just goes out and when he sees stuff, like I said, I gotta do that with everybody and hold everyone accountable. I was talking about that last night on my stream. Like I can't just be willy nilly and Christian because that's like playing favoritism almost, right? And the Lord has no favorite, so it's like, well, even though you would expect more of your brother than you would your neighbor or something along those lines, it's like, well, the correction or whatever for behavior can still do good. And he was on top of that last night too, and I really admired that about him. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm talking about what's his face, Alien.
Yeah, Alien. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a decent live stream.
Yeah, definitely quiet up Gavin for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, it was a decent stream. I gotta start watching the beginning part of Praise's context. I keep forgetting to do that, and I've been abusing his channel just for the live stream. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna abuse his channel for that anymore. If I want to do a live stream, I'm not gonna just not pay attention to his video, and I'll save that part for later. Because I don't really watch his content for the stuff that he's actually trying to say. I mostly go for the live streams. Like, well, that has to change too. But I know mostly people just wait to do the live stream just to get on. So I figured I'm gonna be on tonight. I'm gonna have a little bit of a drinky poo and could get on and have a chat with whoever.
I'm listening to his stream in the background right now.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I just don't have the patience to do that. Usually, sometimes I can do that. I'll listen to like one or two streams, really low, and I can pick them both out.
Every single one of his streams.
Oh yeah, I do too. I usually go back for context and stuff. Like tonight I was watching
them live.
Oh,
I watch them live. That's what I'm doing right now.
I do that too. Sometimes when some people that I know in the community, if they're live but I can't watch their channel if I'm busy doing something, I'll leave their video playing and mute it in the background, just let it so they can get the whole view count and share for their algorithm, because that stuff helps with channels.
Yeah, but in my case, I actually listen. I don't necessarily watch. I listen. It's kind of like a radio station in the
Yeah,
background.
I hate it because sometimes sometimes praise will be on a good point, right? And then you get distracted by the side chat or something else, and then you lose the point and topic because you have to go back and rewatch it and it's live, so it's kind of hard to like get the context sometimes because you're. For me,
Yeah.
that's like I'm going back and forth, and I think that's with everyone, not just Praise's channel.
Well, in my case, if I ever have to go back and rewatch a piece of a live stream while it's live, I would go back, but I would set it into twice as fast speed because I can
Oh yeah,
actually understand English when it's speaking very fast. I can actually understand if I pay attention.
you must love rap music.
No, thank you.
Oh no, I can do
It's
that
just
too. I do that all the time. My wife hates it.
I
She's
can
like, "How the
handle
hell can you
words,
listen to
but
them going too
that will
fast?" I'm like,
throw me
"Oh,
off. The beats in music would throw me off. I only can understand words very well. Outside of that, I don't really understand anything. In fact, the one thing I noticed in my life that I'm very, very bad at is social cues. I lack that skill entirely.
which skill? Sorry."
I have no social skills.
Oh yeah. I suck at that too. I was a shut-in child as well. Like I didn't really. My mom was a helicopter mom, I guess is what you call them. So she never really let us out of the house. We never really were allowed to go to any friend's house. So
No,
like I
that's not
didn't
it.
go to see like a friend's house till about like
Um,
high school. But what I'm saying is like I didn't like really
um,
associate with other children like because
in my
I
case,
didn't know how
it
to
was
react or respond.
You didn't
yeah. In
have
my
too
case,
many
though,
childhood friends.
No, I didn't. I only have like probably just the same high school friends and that's it. But I barely even talk to them.
I don't even have that. Me, I was very closed off on my own. My mother had nothing to do with it. In fact, my mother wanted me to go out and make friends and stuff. But me, I just naturally did not find interest in the outside world. I found more interest in religious texts than I did the outside world, even from a young age. So,
Well, that's good, I guess.
Man,
Different approach.
I was hanging out until like 2 in the morning when I was a kid. Just running around the neighborhood with my friends.
But see, it's not like I didn't get to experience that. I did, but it was never with like my own in group. It was always like branched off my brothers. So it was
Yeah,
always like the little kid brother who followed his brother and his friends, and that's how I got in the mischief. And usually, since I was the younger one, I'd be the one that always got volunteered for like weird, do weird shit like let's go drive and you go be in a trunk for a bit. Or like whenever we do dares or whatever, you'd be the one who's opted out because you're the younger.
yeah.
yeah,
You're not
I
even
think
supposed to be there.
also
Yeah, go
his
ahead.
age compared to my age, we're a we're like a decade away from each other, and his timeline, he had the internet and all that stuff, so it was a lot easier for him to be antisocial. As me, I didn't have the internet. I had to go outside to talk to
Oh, that's
people.
true. That's true. That's true. That is true. I was mostly online growing up then, because that stuff just that dial-up internet came out, then DSL. Man, those megabytes, and then yeah, everything was done online, and then
Yeah,
it got to the point to where I realized that my online friends I would never meet and hang out, and it felt like a fantasy. And so like
right.
I stopped communicating with them because I'm never gonna see you people ever. And
well,
then I just lost contact with them over the years.
in, my whole life is basically online. That's the only place I've actually made real friends. So there's that.
Oh yeah.
But aside from that, I'm the oldest in my family, so I was my brothers never experienced what it would be like to hang out with their old. Well, Sammy, the youngest, experienced that with Joey, but Joey never experienced what it would be like to hang out with my friends because I had no friends except
Yeah.
for a few old books, which were my friends. Which that's not that fun.
Yeah.
At least from his perspective, it wasn't fun. I enjoyed it.
See,
I
I
loved
mean, in that
books.
instance, at least like in my experience, being the like younger brothers, like I was always tag along because I'd force myself along. And then like when as I got older, I questioned my friendships in high school. I'm like, were these guys like actually truly my friends, or was it that I would ignore them so much and they just tolerated me? You know, and it's like, it really makes because they can't go anywhere. They're at school, but then it's like, well, they wouldn't hang out with me after school if they really didn't like me. You know,
Yeah.
because I would question that all the time. Like, are these guys really my friends afterwards? But then I just realized, people fall apart after high school, so it's cool. As long as you like get back, and say, hey, every once in like a blue fucking moon, it's all good.
Yeah,
Well,
I think I might talk to at least three people that I hung out back in high school. And that was back in 2000. So yeah,
Yep. Yep. I remember.
it's tough to hold on to those old relationships of friends. And
Yeah, yeah. I had a friend who like we all hung out together, and like I was just interested in learning about new people and what they did. So like I was the first friend that like ever went to his house to hang out. It was so socially awkward because we hang out all the time, but when it got to his house, he's like, um, I never had a friend over at my house. I don't know what to do. And so I just sat there and watched him play World of Warcraft. Because I never had, I didn't at that time. Like we didn't have internet. We didn't, couldn't afford the World of Warcraft. So I just sat there and watched him, and we ate pizza rolls. And that was like the only time I went to the house because it was just we were just sitting there. There was just nothing to do. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, we'll just hang out outside with the group friends," and like it was dead after that.
yeah. Me, I've never been one to care for having friends. In fact, that's I think what made my younger brothers pick on me and bully me. I was always the one being bullied. Out of my me and my brothers, I'm the one who got bullied. My the middle child, Joey, he actually took it too far once and jumped on my spine.
Oof, yeah.
I could barely walk for about a day or so. It took me a while before I could force myself to start walking again. And I've had back pain ever since.
yeah, me and my brother got into those kind of fights.
Oh yeah.
No, my brother had his friend hold me down.
Oh
Oh
damn.
yeah. I've had stuff like that. I got tied. Well, even my own family, my uncles and my brother, one time when I was a little kid, they tied me to a tree upside down with some rope and let me there for like 3 hours. Or well, it felt like 3 hours. I just can't say it was actually 3 hours. It might have been like 20 minutes or something. But I was a little kid and it felt like forever. It was hot and they hung me
Yeah.
upside down, tied me to a tree. And
Well,
that's family.
as long as they're doing it because just to have fun with you, not to be like, hey, let's pick on Tog.
That's the sad
Yeah.
part. I don't know. I don't remember the context. All I remember is they tied me to a tree.
Well, you know what? At least they didn't try. At least they didn't try to break your spine. At least.
Oh, not yet. We'd always do things like when it came to family, we'd play games like dodge the stick and rock. So we'd just throw rocks and sticks at each other in the yard and just play dodge because we couldn't go anywhere because he lived in the city and it wasn't really that it wasn't a bad neighborhood, but sometimes we just weren't able to go out. Like we didn't have our bikes or anything like that, so we couldn't go anywhere because we didn't have our bikes. And so
My
like yeah, it was pretty
brothers
cool.
love bikes. They love to ride bikes. They like to hang out with friends. Me, I'm the one who was. I don't care for that stuff. I've always been the guy who just doesn't care.
You sound like a hermit.
Yeah,
Well,
we were
actually,
running through the neighborhood. And yeah, we were. Yeah,
It was
you know what?
Hellraise,
When
yeah.
people talk to me about them having friends, I really, for the longest time, I didn't even understand the concept of friends. I understood it meant they hung out together, but I never fully understood. I still don't fully understand what the point of having friends is.
I think it's mostly for counsel and
To
just
to
people to
have
hang out with. Yeah.
friends is a good thing to have. You get that social connection. You get that type of brotherhood
Mm.
connection. They
It's like something
people
you
you
get
can
from
hang out
outside
with
of
and
family.
know
Yeah.
that they're going to have your back.
Well, my books have my back.
Well, they had your brother's back.
The only friends I had are books. I guess that's the closest thing I could actually call friends.
You
That
got
and
us. We're kind of like your friends.
I I
We
get that
talk
now, but
online.
think about it. When I was a child, there were I think you might find this funny. You might call them imaginary friends, but no,
Two
I
plus.
actually seriously believe these were spirits. And the reason why is because when I was in high school, there were other psychic. I've interacted with other psychic people in my
Ha-
high school
have you heard
who
of
also
tuplas?
saw them. So,
Have you heard of tuplas?
Two
Topas,
plus.
yeah,
Tulpas? Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about then. Tulpas, yeah, tuplas. I've heard.
yeah, that's
What's
what
that?
some people might call them. That, yeah, that could be.
Tulpas Torpors are imaginary friends, essentially. Don't get me, I'm not quoting it right, but it's like essentially you make imaginary friends and you give it properties, and then a part of your personality takes form in that tupla, and now it has like a will and a mind of its own because you've
Yeah,
given personality inside your head. So it's like you've created a second being inside your head that only you can interact with, and it can
that's not
lead you
entirely
astray.
Okay.
accurate.
It's like
Not entirely,
schizophrenia, but not.
you know. Actually, in
See,
I would
fact,
see,
say,
this is
but
why
not.
I'm
doc-
glad I had LARPing in my life, so I can use my imagination outside of just in my head.
actually, tulpas. If
Topas,
more
thank you.
people believe in the same tulpa and have experienced the same tulpa, over time they become what is known as thought forms, and with time they can become something similar to gods. Many of the pagan gods are actually very advanced forms of tulpa. They're
Airfeld,
very advanced.
have you ever thought about doing LARPing?
No, no.
No? Because that's a great way to use your imagination and gain to know people outside of your comfort zone where you can build your personality through a character that you've made.
Well, I'm trying to write some novels, so there's that.
Oh, it's also a really good exercise too.
Yeah. But I'm too lazy. I can't. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact I know I need to eat, I would just sit in this chair until I waste away to nothing and die of starvation because I'm that lazy. That's how lazy I truly am.
It's not good, man. That's not good.
Um, be, that's why I'm glad I'm not in the same room as the kitchen anymore while I'm on
I
the
had a
computer.
question for you. Do you think you could be slightly artistic or something along those lines?
Some doctors have said there's every doctor, medical doctor I've seen, either says there's something wrong with me, and in that case, it's always something different. And the other group of doctors says there's nothing wrong with me. So half of them says there's something wrong with me, and they can't all like they all disagree on what that is. The other group of doctors say there's nothing wrong with me. So do I take the group that is agreeing with each other, or the group that is disagreeing with each
I'll
other?
be back.
So
Hmm.
I don't know. It's about 50-50, the group. So there's two different groups.
Like what kind of tests have they done?
Well, they've done a lot of different things. And my mother, when I was younger, tried using medicines to fix my behavior and whatnot. But in
Uh
fact,
huh.
all that did was screw up my metabolism. It set my metabolism to hell. It didn't do anything good except for cause me to have insomnia and other things that screwed up my body even worse. But it had
What was she
no
giving
effect.
you medicine for? Like eight? Oh
Well,
my god, I can't say it.
because the thing is, the doc. I think I know why the doctors that think I'm okay think that. Um, because most of what I was experiencing was spirits and stuff. So, and I, since a young age, already identified them as spirits. And I had friends that also could see these same spirits.
All right, I'm
I've
back.
even, I one time, because I had a friend who claimed to be a psychic, and I knew that I had a spirit with
Was
me.
it what?
I asked this friend, well, not really friend, more like acquaintance, I should say, but for lack of a better term, I use the term friend because me and them were a little bit closer than I would say acquaintances, but not quite friends yet.
Agreed. Yeah, I get both.
Where I asked them, can you describe what is with me? Okay, that's the way I asked the question. And then the first thing they asked, you mean the spirit? And then I said, okay, describe it. They described it exactly.
Dude, the best part about like when it came to like psychics was always hitting him in the balls. Like, did you see that coming?
Actually, I tried that once with a real psychic, and you know what? I'm the one who ended up getting hit
Oh yeah.
in my balls. So
Well, that's
yeah,
because they
they
had
saw
it
it
done to them once before.
Kiss my butt, Thomas. I'm driving right now, so
But no, I
I
was gonna
will
say
use my words when I get home.
I was gonna say, Raphael, you remind me of someone who I know who just like he's like 35, 30 something, and like this dude that I know, he's never had a job. Bright guy, right? He's smart, but he's never worked, and he all he does is just like he really literally we call him the hermit. That's why I said you remind me of
Oh,
the hermit because that's his nickname. But it's not like he
okay.
doesn't like help out or whatever because he still lives with mommy and daddy, and we
Oh,
often give him shit about that because he's like 35 and he's never really done anything.
I live with my grandmother.
Yeah, but yeah, that dude, like obviously, like sometimes when you talk to him, he's not all there. Like I think like he's been online so much that he confuses poor reality with like what's not real, and then there's all the other shit. Like
Well,
he
in my
hardly ever
case,
comes out. It's kind of sad.
the problem with me is with all the crazy, wacky things I've experienced in my life. Um, I'm always worried of what kind of weird thing will I run into while I'm out. That's what I'm worried about. Am I going to run into some kind of demon or some other kind of creature? That's what I'm worried about.
Now, do these demons like manifest like in front of you?
They
Where
have manifested physically, and one time I was in the store and a demon noticed that I could see it, and it ended up messing up the whole aisle.
do you have like
Everything started
video of
falling.
this?
I didn't ask for any video. I ran out of the store so fast. I was like, I'm not shopping for this. I'm gone.
See, I'd love to have an experience like that because I would goat them a little fucking motherfucker. I would be the
That,
asshole, be like, all right, let's
that was
go.
one of the
Let's
times where
tango.
it
Let's
startled me. I
dance.
wasn't expecting a ghost in the, well, a demon or ghost or whatever that spirit was in the store. I'm like, what the heck is with? And when I got home, I was like, oh, what was with that thing? I was, I was out of breath. I
Now,
ran home.
do these demons look like human beings, or do they actually look like horned
Sometimes they can
beasts?
look like humans. Sometimes they look like goat monsters. Other times they look like. I've seen spirits in so many different forms. I've seen angels. I've seen.
There's the Tupla little thing, whatever. I'm just clicking on random links and posting them in the side
Yeah.
chat so people can see what kind of. Oh, here's the actual Wikipedia. I clicked on the wrong one.
Yeah, there's a lot of different paranormal things I've experienced
There
in
you
my
go.
life.
There's the actual Wikipedia. I clicked on the wrong one. See, people can understand what tuplas are.
You know what? I was one time. I was when I was really young. I was playing with a ball, right, on the sidewalk in my court. I lived on a in a court. The ball ended up going into the street, right? I was a really little kid. I didn't really know about watching out for cars. So I went and after the ball, and I saw I felt myself get hit, and then time just rewound itself. And then something told me, just wait. That's when I realized a car really did pass by, and had I gone and ran like I was planning to, I would have been hit by the car. Those are the kind of experiences I've had.
I've had one before when I was a little kid. We used to go swimming because my friend was a farmer. This is back when I used to live in the docks, and we were close because my uncle was like his best friend. So we pretty much our families were practically cousins. So we'd go over to his farm and go swimming, and he had like this little he had a little pond out front, but there was a little creek that we would sometimes sneak off to past the electric fence. And ooh, that was a nice motorcycle. And what was it? We went to this creek one time, and I didn't know how to swim, and the current swept me under. And while I was under there, I got into a little bit of the deep part of the creek, and I could have sworn to God I felt like a hand reach and grab my ankle as I was trying to like swim away, and it ended up to where like my brother came down and pulled me out of the water because I was pushing and pushing, trying to swim away, and I was snagged on something. Like something literally reached out and grabbed me. Like in hindsight, I like to think that it was maybe like a fish or something that just put its whole freaking
Exactly.
mouth on my foot or something. But I remember
Like a
distinctly feeling
catfish.
like something like that. But I distinctly remember feeling like a hand grab your ankle to pull you down. Like it's weird. Like you know how you feel the hand. You know what a hand feels like, and that's exactly what it felt like. And then like my brother pulled me out of the water. It was one of the crazy. It's one of those weird memories that I still have.
Hmm.
And I remember thinking back, I still remember it. And like I said, I was a little kid, and I remember thinking like, wow, I owe my brother my life because he just saved me. So, I literally thought I was gonna die because I was under there for like, well, it felt like forever. It could have been like 2 seconds or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was one of the weirdest things that I remember that it freaked me the hell out, and like looking back, and it could have potentially been a demon or a fish. Sure, most likely it was a fish just biting my little kid leg. But in the creek,
Or you
no,
just
yeah,
got caught on a piece of underbrush or something.
possibly, yeah, that too, that too. Uh, I forget about the thing, but maybe not the tree branches and all that, because like I said, it was a creek, and it really wasn't that bad or deep, but it did have a decent flow.
Yeah.
But I was still like I said, I could have probably like I was small, but if you were an adult, it probably would have been about up to maybe your chest if a full grown man stand in it. So, and it had like a sandy beach thingy too, but the water was dirty and murky, so you really couldn't see. But I would have been too short if I were to stand there. I would have been able to like my head would have been clear over the water. So I was about like maybe 3 foot and a half. Water was probably about 4 foot deep. But yeah, it was an interesting experience that uh could have been like like I said, I just remember feeling the hand grab, and that was really weird.
Hmm. There's a monster in I believe it's native in mythology. I don't remember its name, but it's like a monkey-like thing that has a human hand for a tail, and it's said to pull people under the water and strangle them to death.
Hey, I'll be right back.
All right, I'll post a link in case anyone else wants to come on in. I would say if anything, it would have been that over Draugr. The apathy can be symptom with schizophrenia, but he is way too rational.
That's not it. I'm looking for it, but I can't seem to
I
find
don't
it.
know who the Supreme King is talking about. I think maybe he meant for
I don't know
Praise's
if the
channel,
name
and
is.
he typed it in here because that doesn't make sense. There's a monster in Arafel's pants.
What? Monster and what now?
In your pants?
Uh, I don't think it's that big. Sorry.
Are you looking for a street fight? What? Oh, they're talking about boxing on Praise's channel. How sweet. Oh. Oh, okay.
I can actually remember what this damn thing was called. It would be good.
A Hoyzolt? A Hoyzolt in mythology. I think, what's his face? What was it? Benghazi.
Um,
We're gonna get DT'd tonight. Oh, wait, that's DP. Fuck, I'm stupid.
Hi, Doubting Thomas. How are you?
Hi. No, RFL, you were talking about you had a monster a minute ago. and,
No, I was
and
saying
I
I was.
and when you said that, I said you had a monster in your pants.
No, I was talking about there is a monster in Native American mythology that has a hand on its tail, a human hand on its tail, and it's like a monkey like creature that will drag you underwater and strangle you to death.
I know. And I was talking
Yeah.
about the monster in your pants.
What kind of monster could
Well,
that
that's
be?
even spooky. It's in an Aztec, and that's like my bloodline.
Oh, yeah, I think it might be
Uh,
as.
hey,
Sorry,
hey,
go ahead.
Tog, have you ever heard of the Toltecs?
Toltecs? No, what the hell's that?
Tol. I'll put it in the. You were just talking about the Aztecs.
Yeah.
See that word in the side chat? Toltecs. Or the private chat.
Oh, okay. No, I've never heard of them.
Oh. They were cool. They were kind of like the Aztecs, only a little different. Anyway.
My cousins, the religious warriors who spread the cult of their god, Quetzalcoatl, I can't pronounce his name, to all corners of their empire. Right, cool.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. It was like the Jesus figure of the Aztecs, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
in Central America.
Yep.
And
And then you have his twin brother, who is like the devil, bad guy, underworld guy, or his second son. I forget. I haven't done the whole Aztec serpent flying thing in a while.
It's pretty interesting what they believed, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they didn't they do. I forgot what other stuff they did. Like I don't think he was in charge of the rain and agriculture and some other stuff. Yeah, that's my bloodline right there.
Right on.
Also, I found out through blood. Like I got to get a blood test now to see if I have the genetics markers for Ashkenazi, whatever they call it, Jew blood. Yeah,
Ashkenazi Jew.
yeah. On my mother's side, she said that she saw it on her because she took one of those DNA test thingy or genealogy test thingies, and it came back with that on hers. And so, if it's true on the mother's side, I could take a test to see if it's in my genealogy, and then I could potentially be a Jew that way or whatever. So that's pretty
Um,
cool.
Oh, and then you're gonna
one
have.
thing to note,
Go ahead.
there's a little something you should know about these genealogy tests. If you actually read the fine print on them, on their websites and whatnot, you'll realize that it's not an exact science. Not even close.
They also say they whatever they get from you, they get to
No,
keep and do whatever they want.
no,
So they can make little clones of you.
you can say it's not an exact science, but you can't say it's not even close.
Um, if you because they're not looking at all of the DNA as a whole, they're looking at a smaller number of genetic markers.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
true.
are times
Yeah,
where they make
yeah.
mistakes because of it. That is the problem, and that's
Well,
why
Even
they're.
but
even even
my
go ahead.
point is, it's as close as science can get. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
that's where all this stuff comes from, is science.
And from my understanding from science is that more or less that like the science of the gene line, like even though my mom could have these potentially like Ashkenazi blood or DNA, I may not potentially carry it in mine, depending on the stronger traits who takes over from the father and the mother. I could potentially not even receive those genes, even though they came from my mother. So that's also pretty cool. Because I was having the conversation with my brother's like a scientist, so he always he hates it when I call him up on this
I,
shit. Because he's like, "Why don't you just learn it yourself, dude?"
yeah.
He gets so
Hey,
mad.
hey, I got a question. Is it possible that your mother has Ashkenazi and you don't?
I'd say that's kind of what I was just saying. Yeah, it is a
Okay.
potential possibility. That's why I want to get the blood work done. Because I think it only goes through by the bloodline of the mother anyway. Like if you were a Jew by your father's side, I don't think it counts. I think it has to
Okay.
be by the mother's side in order to
Okay.
be to trace your root batch or something along those lines.
Legalistically speaking, Hug, you're right. Genetically speaking, no. It's much more complicated than that if we're talking genetics versus legality within Jewish law.
Yeah. Well, I did a little back research upon it, and like there's the Hispanic Jews that there are, and both my last names are derived from the families of those names, which is
Right.
also quite interesting. So I did, like I said, I did this all just based on my last name, doing a little bit of back research, and potentially the bloodline could have gone through Jews hiding in as Roman Catholics, and then doing all that in within Mexico or whatever.
Right. So soon you could cash in on all the benefits of being a Jew.
Oh yeah, I could. That's why I said I'm taking the genealogy test. Like heck yeah, I don't want to work on Saturday, and I'm really gonna stick because then that gives for me it gives me more influence to stick to Trickster because of that. You know, it's weird as that sounds. And mind you,
Right on.
I'm a guy who hates traditionalism. I haven't even learned Spanish because of it. Like my mom got on my ass about it, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna learn Spanish. I'm gonna learn French. So I went to go learn French in high school. So
Oh
I was
wow. Right
I
on.
in
chose
the
You're
to
opposition.
learn Latin on my own because my school does. The only foreign languages my school taught was Spanish and I think French, maybe Italian, but they didn't teach any Latin. So you know what? I took a computer class in place of. So I learned about computer web design and whatnot.
Oh, cool.
But I chose to learn Latin on my own because I wanted to learn Latin.
I still have to do that. I feel like if I would have done it younger, I would probably have gotten acted for it. But even learning French wasn't that piece of cake to me, and I got some of it from. I mean, technically speaking, Spanish was technically my first language, and then growing up in like a small white town, my mom didn't speak Spanish to us, so we just forgot it, and like we primarily took to English, and then that was it. And then I just forgot Spanish. My brother picked it up in high school, so he went to Spanish again, so he can speak Spanish all right. But as for me, I only get like bits and pieces. So I'm like one of those bits and pieces, and it's always been like that for me and other languages. All I can do is like little bits and pieces I can understand, not all the way.
And yeah, you were right about the name of the creature I was looking for. That's good. That's good. You were right. That was the creature. I've studied far too many different types of monsters. Well, I'm just glad I only ran into one vamp. Well, no, that's not true. I ran into a couple of those creatures.
Whoa.
I only had to kill one. I only had to kill one vampire. Keyword had to there. I've killed multiple of them, but I only had to kill one. Only one
Did
of
you
them.
guys have you guys
That's
ever drank blood or no?
my own.
I can't
Why?
remember if I have or haven't, to be honest.
Well, actually, no. I've also drank vampire's blood. Vampires have sweet blood.
That is creepy as shit.
What?
I'm just reading the Wikipedia and it's like, holy crap, that's just creepy.
There's a lot of
Oh,
very
sorry, Red Fang.
red plastic.
Yep, I saw.
So what kind of vampire did you kill?
Well,
The blade kind.
you
Sorry.
know,
I'll be right back. I'll let you guys have this
actually,
conversation. I'm gonna go for a smoke. I'm gonna do the Brett King. I'm gonna go out for a cigarette. You guys keep the chat busy for me, will ya?
it was technically a Middle Eastern vampire. I use the term vampire loosely, very loosely. It was actually Sumerian in origin. The term vampire isn't exactly accurate, but it's the best term in English, unless I want to use the proper term, which is very hard to pronounce. Um,
Okay. What was he a psychic vampire? Did he feed off
no,
your energy? Did he try and drink your
no,
blood?
he's the kind of
What
vampire
what
that
type of vampire are we talking?
not just blood,
Huh?
not just blood, both blood and flesh. It's a very destructive type of vampire creature, and it wasn't completely tangible in the sense that it wasn't. It was more like a metaphysical entity, like it could pass through walls, kind of like a ghost. And there's only certain things that can actually harm it. Weird. That's why I really do not like ancient Mesopotamian mythology.
Ancient Mesopotamian mythology is the worst.
The worst of worst. Okay. Have you ran across werewolves?
Oh, those creatures. Yeah, the lycanthrope. Yeah, haven't you?
No, I've never ran across a werewolf. I wish I have, but no, I've never crossed one.
No, you don't. You wish. You know what? If you had, you probably wouldn't be here right now.
Maybe. Well, somehow you survived a vampire attack,
Well,
so
in my case, I just know what to look for. I almost got myself killed quite a few times.
oh yeah, I know if I'm looking for a vampire or a werewolf, but I've never came across those two special creatures in the real world.
Um, there we go. Finally found the word I was looking for. This is why I um I'm gonna post it in the private chat so you can actually read it.
What are you
Some
posting?
spell it with a D, other people spell it with a K, depending on who you ask. There's variance in the spelling, but some people call them ghosts, not necessarily vampires. Some call them ghouls. There's a few different interpretations to what these creatures actually are. But the way that the things they're weak to actually is why I call them vampires.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
It,
All right.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I've come across many different creatures in my lifetime.
Like for really real creatures or mythical creatures, or where are we at here
They
on
were
a scale of
very
1 to crazy?
within where I was. They were very real. Do they actually? And they have hurt other people when people are around me when these creatures show up. But are they real in the sense that they exist? They're known to exist by everyone? No. Do they
Well,
exist?
well, when you say where I was, if I knew you made that statement where I was, where were you?
Well, I was the thing. It has happened. I've encountered spiritual and supernatural entities at school. I've encountered them on my walk home. I've encountered them in stores. I've encountered them almost everywhere I go. I seem to be a magnet for these types
Well,
of beings.
well, how do you know they're supernatural?
Well, if something can go through a wall and then start scratching you and throwing objects around, I think that's a clear sign it's something supernatural.
But
Uh,
it happened in the natural world, right?
yes, the term supernatural here, I'm using it in the sense that it's above or beyond what happens on a normal daily basis. That's what I mean when I say supernatural, as in it's not the norm for other people. Not that it isn't the norm for
Okay.
me, it isn't actually natural. I'm just saying it's not something that's normal across the board. It just happens to be my norm.
I would ask how do you define that differently between like paranormal and with the supernatural? Or would you consider the both to be the same?
Yeah, they're technically the same, and actually, the terminology there is actually quite interesting. The reason why some people would use the term supernatural um, instead of paranormal is just a difference between do you want to use Latin or Greek? Para is from Greek, super is from Latin, and they both basically mean the same thing. Although one has been linked more to science, to modern science and research, the other seems to be more occultic in nature, at least in terms of how they're used. But they're basically talking about the same topic, using two different terms.
So, Abel,
Yeah.
I got a question for you. It's kind of personal,
Okay.
but
Ask
I
away.
I don't mean any disrespect by it. But what the doctors you were talking about earlier that analyzed you, what would they say about you wrestling with demons
Well,
medically?
some of them.
How would they define that mental
Well,
state?
first off, um, you have to remember demons are a very religious topic. So there are two things at play here. one, you can interpret the doctors as saying I'm not crazy because of religious reasons, as in their religion requires them to believe in such creatures. So it's debatable on whether or not I could actually find an unbiased doctor to give me a honest opinion here, because there's always going to be some religious biases involved in trying to understand certain phenomena, especially considering I've also had friends that have experienced the same thing and had a lot of my family has had paranormal experiences involved with it for a very long time.
Oh,
That's another issue with my family.
I was gonna say, if you
I
guys
got a
wanted to, sorry to interrupt, but praise his life. If anyone wanted to go ahead and hop over to
Oh,
his stream,
I'd rather stay
oh,
here,
is
man.
it open now?
that's fine.
Okay.
I was just letting anyone who wanted to go. I didn't, like I said, people were
I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
just
actually
listening. Yeah.
hop over because
Hey,
I'll see you
RFL,
guys later.
hold on. Oh, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. I was gonna say,
Okay.
when you say it's been in your family for a long time, what do you mean? Like for generations or thousands of years, or just,
Um,
is
what
it in
I
your life?
know is my grandma's family in the Philippines has experienced a lot of paranormal activity. The Philippines has a lot of paranormal things going on because of the way the culture is back over there. At least in her
Okay,
when she was there was a lot of paranormal activity was quite common in the Philippines.
right on.
So
Okay,
um, that might actually play a factor. My mother and whatnot. Well, they since she was raised here, I think it she wasn't accustomed to as many spiritual phenomena here. Me, on
right.
the other hand, because I was raised with religious texts and my mind has always been focused on religious things, I think I've been more susceptible to these kinds of phenomena. And I think that's kind of why I was targeted more.
Oh yeah. Okay, right on. All right. If you're taking off, see you later, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say goodbye, but my mic was down. Oops.
Uh,
I have one of
oh
those ones you can lift and lift up because it's a headset mic. But yeah,
yeah.
goodbye, Arafel, or whatever name you're going by. I don't know.
All.
Adam, I guess.
Oh my God, man! I can't believe whatever. But I'm just looked in Praise's side chat,
Oh yeah.
and Caleb just put in there all the atheists are hiding in Tog's stream right now.
He said that in mine too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he said them in both. He's so silly.
Oh, I haven't seen it in yours yet.
Yeah, it's there. Don't rely on the comment thingy on StreamYard. That one sucks. You have to go directly to the live chat feed because otherwise it doesn't show
Oh,
them. We're just it's open talk, Ethan. We're not really talking much. But yeah, I would say
we were
I think
talking about like
go ahead.
witchcraft or not. Well, we were talking about vampires and werewolves and stuff and RFL.
Yeah, I would say it's interesting that werewolf concept because that holds there's the different beliefs with that with different religions. Like, well, I guess you get some with the Native American with like the Skinwalker and all that.
Oh
Would be the more
yeah.
prevalent one. I believe there might be something considering. I think like sometimes in the Bible, some people can consider like Nebuchadnezzar to be like a form of a werewolf or some crap like that. Um, it's weird. Yeah, there's other ones too. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. But maybe I think most of it, the rest comes from literature. The whatever it's called, um, fiction, whatever genre.
Right.
But yeah, I would say it really all depends when it comes to that witchcraft and like you were saying that generation stuff, and what families do because you do have, I think, people who are spiritually like more prone to that or whatever. Because, like, I don't know, it seems weird. I think everyone that comes from everywhere has a different background from that, in that
Yeah,
sense, some type of spirituality. So,
yeah.
but
I
whether
I
people experience or not, it's odd.
right. I don't. I'm fucking whitey all the way, man. I have no sort of background like that. Um, but yeah, I was thinking it's interesting that his heritage is from the Philippines, and his grandmother had visions or whatever, right? And so yeah, different cultures have their different. I don't know if I was going to word it makes somebody more susceptible to that, but who knows? I just think the whole thing is fascinating how they believe in what they believe, and then
Oh yeah, definitely.
What the Native American cultures believed, what the First Nations in Canada believed, or what the ancient Africans believed. It's all pretty cool, man.
Like the only thing I would give like supernatural paranormal would be like the only thing experience I've had would be like the ghost thing. And I think I've told this story before. If you know Holt, I don't know if you heard it or not. It goes along when I used to work at a mall and I was cleaning out the bathrooms and mind you, while cleaning, the whole store is completely closed and I saw like an old dude in like a Western Texas type get up as I was cleaning the mirrors and it freaked me out and like I said, the store was closed. There's no one supposed to be in there. I looked in the mirror and then I looked back and there's no one. There's no one standing there,
Right.
and I bolted
That's
out. Yeah.
That's wild. See, I've never ever, and that's why I don't believe. I'm kind of like Benghazi. I think he said the old skeptic saying is there aren't haunted houses, there are only haunted
Haunted
people.
people. Yeah. Yeah. The trouble just
And
follows you. People say.
I've never had, I've never seen a ghost. And and it's funny. Uh, I was talking to somebody online, and they were telling me, well, then you need to go find a haunted house that's known to have ghosts,
Oh yeah, and
and
stay there
and
tonight.
yeah, and meet
You
one.
gotta
And
hunt them down, bro. Gotta go hunt. I did that whole
right,
thing, dude. It's fun. It really is. You get the
it
little
would be fun.
chills, expecting something.
Right. And you did it, but did you find any?
I've had one experience, which is weird. There's another one where I actually did. Hold up, give me 1 second. I gotta
Hey,
fix something real quick.
that was your one experience with the cowboy.
I forgot like another one that I don't really consider. I'll give it
Okay.
in a second. Hold up.
All right. All right. Ethan,
Okay.
Ethan wants to know what's your worldview. I was just going to tell him I think you're a Christian, but you might not say that. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'd say Christian. Go ahead. I mean, my actual worldview is that the world is a piece of shit and it should all burn. But that's personal worldview. But if you wanted to see like my moral and compass or whatever, they would be Christianity, I guess.
Well, you're a burn the shit worldist then.
Yep, I'm gonna burn the shit down.
Right on. All right. Fair enough. So what was your other
Yeah, I was gonna say when it comes to I guess the ghost bit in the bathroom, that's physical experience, like in a sense where I actually saw something through a mirror and and it wasn't there, but I saw it. It's one of those things that like it happened in the flesh, and the other ones where it was through machinery, like with a phone app, right? So we went to Bachelor's Grove, which is I think where Al Capone used to dump his bodies over here in Chicago or something like that. And then what is it? We were playing with this app, and this app would sometimes randomly pop up random words. And like one time, we were just sitting there walking, just looking, and like we were looking down on uh what was it, the gravestone or whatever. And as I was reading it, it was like the dude's name was actually your name, Thomas, and it popped up on the phone app, and
What did?
the name, because like you could it would just pop up random words, and
Right.
act like it had like a little compass radar where it had like little blue or red dots, like, oh, there's energy thing. It's a little toy app,
Right.
But when that Thomas name came up on the app, mind you, I'm holding the phone. It's like really dark, so there's no way this app can see like the light of it because
Right.
it's in my hand. And I look and see this name on the gravestone, and then my phone goes off, Thomas, and it's like, what the shit? It's one of those really creepy things that, like I said, but I don't consider it because maybe someone said the name somewhere, and I just don't remember, so I can't really account it as an actual thing because based
Well-
off memories, maybe someone said it and it just caught it.
Well, you're leaving one thing out too.
What's that?
It's random. It's a random app, man. Thomas could have just came up by chance.
That's
My
yeah,
brother-
that too.
That's the definition of random. Yeah.
But yeah, it was with
I mean,
that time
know-
coincidence. Sure,
I know-
yeah.
if I put myself in your shoes and that happened right at that time, that would freak me out a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. And I just brushed it on the word like it's just coincidence, and that's
Yeah.
all I've ever seen that one as.
Well, that's
But
what random is, though. When you say it's a random app, that's exactly what random means. Every now and then, it's going to coincidentally be right. It doesn't mean it's supernatural, man.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair
man.
in that one. But
Yeah. Oh,
but like
yeah.
I said,
Okay.
yeah, on that one, that's
What I'm
fair.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's that fair. The other one that I saw with the goat, like that one's, I don't know.
The cowboy.
That one's beside me. Yeah.
I can't explain that because that happened to you, right?
Yeah, and like I said, the dude, there was a security guard there, mind you, because we all had walkie talkies, and like I bolted so fast, the walkie talkie bopped off my head and broke.
Dude, if I saw a cowboy in a mirror in an abandoned whatever, I would probably shit my pants, man. I've just never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So
And then
I don't buy it, but that doesn't mean but I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not saying you didn't see that.
Oh no, of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't anyone to expect it because either way, the whole facade. This guy could just be telling a fib story for whatever purposes,
Right.
and I view it as that as well. Sometimes because people will think that, and it's fine. Like I said, I can't deny that I had it, and
Right.
there would be no point to bring it up other for the sake of conversation, I guess. But yeah,
Right.
it's just one of those weird things.
Right. And it's like Richard Madsen, not to talk about somebody when they're not here. His story is out there a bit, right? But it's his story.
Oh yeah,
I can't tell him that's not true for you. And he knows that.
that's true. You could say like anyone could have like their own little set of story that's a little bit unbelievable,
Yeah, it's all
but it's
personal.
remarkable in some way. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't transfer your personal experience to me because then it wouldn't be personal. Right?
Let me just give you my feelings about this situation so you could understand,
Right.
give
Or
you a vision, yeah.
or let me put into your head the experience of seeing a ghost.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, when you see something like someone sneak up on you, you're like, oh, fuck, you scared me. Yeah, that's what it's like seeing a ghost.
Right, yeah. I get that.
Yeah. But I think there would be a difference between, like, I guess, I don't know, I can't say from experience or anything, but between, like, maybe a ghost and, like, demonic experience, if people would call it, or, like, extraterrestrial. Like, those experiences are just completely fascinating and mind-boggling and curious. Because I want to know which ones are bullshit and which ones have, like, complete validation. Like
Right.
I want witnesses, that to testify, and like at least when it came to like the ghost thing, there's been multiple occasions like that. So once you can see repeated pattern, right? So it seems like it's testable if you can go back to a place and repeat it. So I guess in that aspect, when it comes to like the ghost hunting thing, is that people can go back and have repeated experiences with it. You know, at least it seems that way. You can't really tell with the the TV shows and all that. But it
Right.
seems like some people do have repeated experience. That does seem something you can test and has been repeated constantly, and people, various results. whether it means there are some or not, it's still up in the air. I would say.
Right. Yeah. I would agree with that. But I would say most like scientific investigation leaning into this would say it's I don't know, it's not true or whatever. I'm failing for words right now.
I would use the word coincidence, as we said earlier.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
purely coincidental.
Yeah, but there are some studies that seem to lean towards there's something else there, just other than random chance. But
I mean, even life seems to be like a random chance thing in that given context.
well, sure, and it's like if you talk about if you like the fine-tuned argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this this place couldn't have been finely tuned to be any other place, so of course it is this place. That doesn't mean it doesn't just because it was finely tuned doesn't mean it's the only possibility, I guess.
Well, it's just in that aspect, it's just still one out of many, as we know. Considering what we know about like space and all that, it's just one of many. So it's really hard to tell. And then everyone's like, we're so willing to look for different life that we'll break it down to the single cell. As long as we have this out there, that's enough for us. And that's interesting. Just to search that. Okay, we're not alone. This has some things out here or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. I'm probably rambling on a little bit.
No, I
So
get
what are you
what
guys talking about?
Science and paranormal and yeah, we're kind of getting branching off to like a little bit more sciencey talk, I guess, or a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted to keep on talking to Airfeld about vampires, but I had to read a bedtime story for my little girl, so I gotta miss all that.
But he's over in Praise's channel. You just changed the topic. Hey, what the effer? What? Oh no, he left. Maybe he's going to bed or watching anime. But
because I wanted to call him out on that. But what are we talking about?
We were talking about have you ever had it like a paranormal experience or supernatural, whatever people would call it?
I thought I saw a ghost one time when I was younger, but wasn't 100% sure. Could have been a friend fucking with us or something. Wasn't 100% sure.
Okay, so you've had like that's what I call like a physical experience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because we were just talking about how I had that in
What do you mean? How was it physical, Red Fang? Say that again. I missed something.
It looked like a red hood coming up from a basement well.
Right on. Well, that's no different than what you were saying. This one guy about seeing a cowboy in a mirror.
Yeah. There's actually, you physically saw something. You saw it. There's no way that you didn't see it. In those instances when it's like I said, the whole thing with the machinery, like I said, random chance, coincidence, kind of let it out. It's 50-50 on that one because you can never know. Yeah, because those are the two type of experience I see, because the ones that like you see with the well, I guess it also depends on like video evidence too. Video evidence is always acceptable, depending on if it's not doctorated or faked or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's the issue. You
Yeah.
really gotta
Yeah, but
video evidence. You really gotta dig deep down into it.
Yep.
but Red Fang said he thought he saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's true.
Right. So,
I didn't
almost,
stick around very long.
okay. But it almost it sounds like you're not sure what you saw or that you saw
Yeah,
that.
I saw a red hood come up. I didn't see a face, and it was me and my brother and another friend of mine saw it come up, and we bolted. We weren't sure if it was another friend just messing with us or what we saw.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
if it,
Because we had a couple other friends running around the neighborhood hiding, and we were looking for people, and all of a sudden the red popped up, and we bolted the other direction.
well, here's a way to answer that. Was anyone that night wearing a red hood? And that's how you solve that. If no one was wearing a red hood, then it could have been anyone in the party.
I don't recall. That was like
Yeah, I bet.
oh,
Yeah,
man,
well,
like
Huh.
15 plus years, more. I was maybe like, I want to say like around like 12 when that happened.
yeah.
So yeah, it was one hell of an experience. We never saw it ever again. So I that's why I think it was somebody messing with us, or I'm not sure.
Right. But that's
Oh.
that's different than Tog. I mean, Tog saw a cowboy in a mirror.
You saw a cowboy in the mirror, like it
Yep.
like appeared
Okay, so-
behind you.
Essentially, yeah. Like so, as I was telling DT, I was working at the mall, and it's after hours, so no one's there except for like security and the janitors. That's it. There's only like 5 people there in total, and they're all in different parts of the building. So, I'm cleaning the mirror because I just got done with the toilets and the urinals and all that. So I go to do the mirrors, and as I'm swiping to clean it, I look back in the mirror and I see like an old dude in like a cowboy getup. He had like a pinkish, peachish colored shirt. It was all the way down. It was like from the top to his. It was a long sleeve shirt, and he had like this. You know how you see Texas people wear the little thing around the neck with like a star?
A bolo.
Yeah, like it had like a badge or something on it. And then he had like, I want to say like maybe blue jeans or whatever. And he was just sitting there with like, I think his arms on his hips. Because I caught it for like a split second. So mind you, I'm just saying that based off memory. I'm probably putting things that aren't there. But I remember the peachy color shirt. And I'm wiping, and as I'm wiping, I'm like thinking like, dude, there's a dude here, in the bathroom. The store's closed. What the hell is this old man doing here? And I go turn around to yell at him, and there's no one freaking there. And I freaked the fuck out, and I like bolted the hell out of the bathroom because there was no one there. There was no one there, and I was like, what the hell? And I yeeted the hell out of there as fast as I could. And I went to go
That's
tell the
crazy.
security guard. And all the cleaning crew, they all stopped, telling ghost stories for a second. And the one of the security guards who's been working there has a picture of people in Victorian era clothing, because that used to be like the prairie for back, Illinois cornfield. So around there used to be prairie times, and he's got a picture of a little girl in like Victorian era clothes, standing in like one of the doors by the bathrooms, actually, the ones I was cleaning. So, yeah, it's just interesting little things like that.
Wait a second.
Oh.
None of the security guards were dressed like cowboys that night, were they?
Oh, no.
All right.
Besides, I would have remembered because they have white shirts anyway. and
I'm
the
just
radio and all that. Shit, that would have been good though. That would have been a good ass prank. Fuck, I wish
Yeah.
it was. But yeah, that's the weird thing about like I said with paranormal. People have those type of experience that they can't deny, and then you have people that like with you and Frank that like, well, it could have been, but I don't know. Same thing as me with like that one other instance that I gave. And then you have Doubting Thomas with like, I've never had that shit happen to me. Nope, y'all fucking crazy.
No, I didn't say that.
I know
I
I'm
didn't-
saying
I
that
didn't-
jokingly.
Yeah, I didn't say you're crazy. I just said I don't particularly believe any of it. But I'm not. But it's still possible. In my, I just haven't experienced it. I won't totally. I can't say it's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever experienced anything supernatural like that. And
Yeah.
Sometimes I think sex is an out of body experience.
Oh, for
it
sure.
can be.
I think that can be supernatural right there.
I've seen shit on hallucinogenics. I've been high on LSD and mushrooms and seen shit that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is that all about?
Well, see,
that's your brain chemistry working
Yeah.
and adding things that it shouldn't be adding.
Sure, but who's to say that's not, maybe Togg's brain chemistry just went wonky for a brief moment in time.
that could
it was the fumes. Yeah, you're right. It was the cleaning product fumes. There we go.
No.
Figured it out.
I mean, that shit's got to be somewhere in our mind is the capacity for to make shit up.
Yeah, definitely.
That is true.
So who's to say how often that gets loose? I guess we all could be fucking crazy is what I'm saying. I don't know.
There's an easy way to do that, right? It's really hard, but it depends on consistency of people telling back their story. And if they're not consistent, then they're obviously telling you a fib. Because things will change and details will change with the people that hear it. If they can't keep it consistent, then it might be made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just because they can see it doesn't mean it's true. Like, do you believe people have been picked up by aliens and taken to spaceships and fucking probed anally and then sent back down to Earth? Do you believe that? Because they do.
Yeah. and they will argue anybody about it. It's like finding a Christian.
Yeah, at least I think they do.
Perhaps they just all had a bad roofied night.
Yeah, and personally, I think they're insane. I guess for believing that, because I don't believe it. I don't believe spaceships have ever come down and taken any of these people up and abducted them and probed them anally or whatever. All this shit that they say, and then sent them back to Earth. I'm just not buying that at all. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I mean, I can't say I'm right, but it's like, I think that's so far out there, but it happens. People do people claim the Earth is flat. I mean,
with flat earthers, a lot of them are Christian believers, so they take what they get from about the Earth being flat from the Bible. So that's just adding another thing to their Christianity, and that makes them feel a little more special.
Honestly, no. What I think it is that they hear about the flat Earth, right? And then they come to it, and then they end up finding religion through it. For the most part, because it's like, oh shit, if this is real and it's in the Bible, then God must be real. It's like one of those, oh, this is all real type of deal. And I don't want to make like I'm making fun of those people. I'm just trying to emphasize like the grandeur of the epiphany that they have. of God, this is all, truth. This is, I've been lied to. I've been deceived my whole life. Things aren't the way they are. I'm just a cog in the system that's meant to suppress me and all these other things,
Right.
and I have to fight against the ones that are oppressing me and injustice and all these other things. And yeah, I understand it. Well, maybe not far to extent. I'm adding on probably my own personal experience, of course, but yeah, from what I
I
thought about it and all.
I think there's good possibility of aliens, but I'm not sure if they came here yet.
I would say mine would have to be a solid yes and no. Yes, it's potential. No, because it's too outlandish. There's not enough evidence. But yes, because I could potentially have seen a UFO, and whether I can deny it was, yeah, I could say yeah, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But then I was, my girlfriend was with me at the time, and she saw the same thing I did. So there's that.
Was
And then
was it ever identified?
no, we never like. It was just one day we were just driving down the road and we just saw it, like some weird shit.
Then it's a UFO.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. You saw a UFO.
But that doesn't mean alien, of course. That really doesn't mean alien. UFO is just unidentified flying object.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't mean alien. So
Right.
that's why I say it's kind of hard to say. And how do we know? How do we know? See, everyone thinks it's coming from above, but what if it's really the mole people down below taking these people and just in the butt
Or what if it's coming
from the ocean's water? Yeah.
What if
Lake people.
what if it's coming sideways, like through another
Dimension?
Or-
Yeah. Yeah, exact good word. That's what I was looking for.
Let's go mess with these people and stick things in their butt. They'll have
Yeah.
stories
Like,
for years.
who knows? Like, I don't believe it, but is it possible? Yeah. I guess. I mean, I guess if you can think, well, I don't know. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm not
I
saying
do
it's alien.
think there is life outside of Earth.
I do too. I think it's
Well,
as big
I
as
do-
as big as the universe is. It's
Yeah,
I'd have
we've found 20 planets that could actually hold life like us. So who knows how many others are out there with life on it?
right. This is a big place, man.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I can tell you with 100% certainty where you can find life outside of Earth. That is on the freaking space stations that we have.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
I'm
but
being a smart ass.
they don't exist. It's all CGI.
Oh, yeah. The CGI. It's made in a Hollywood basement, don't you know?
Yeah. And there could have been, there could have been human beings or whatever on Earth here 1 billion years ago.
See, that goes in with the whole terraforming thing.
And they just
And all that.
disappeared. You know.
What is that called? Where they come, and they panspermia, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
Where aliens came down, messed with DNA, and made man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then just got bored and left.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think is that panspermia. I thought it was that it would be our own things, and we go from planet to planet and just do whatever until eventually we skyrocket again or whatever. I might have that wrong though. I'm dumb. So
Think about that. They came here and they made us humans. And then they checked it out. They stuck around for a couple 100,000 years, and then they got bored because we're so fucking boring, and they just left. And now we're just here on our own. That makes about as much sense as anything, really.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to see it, like if it is that, like if you go with them, I think Anunnaki whole thing where they come and they have us to be the workers. You take a look at Genesis where it talks about tilling the land, and then you compare it to so we're tilling this land, but anything we grow on this land we're able to eat free, and that's it. So we can have everything that we eat as long as we do the work. And remember, because then we started off as Bronze Age and all that, and so if you consider they
Well,
were
we
looking for
started with stone, then moved to bronze,
yeah, sorry.
and then eventually got steel.
So yeah, but if the whole process was to be labor force and like mining, and all that, well then, like, why would we still have the resources? Or was there a point where there was enough that they were able to grab, and it was enough to where, all right, we don't need you guys anymore, and have fun, figure it out for yourselves. Or like they had enough to take back, but they were coming back later on, and they would be like this is the whole return of Jesus, return of God type of view, coming on the end to destroy it all, because they're
Yeah.
going to take up all the resources and all these other things. So it's
Well, there was
interesting in that.
there was a tribe in South America that would take gold and throw it in a lake. And
Tushibaba.
they said that the gods would come down and take the gold.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just weird shit.
But Tog, I like that was cool where you were going with that, of how
Yeah.
they came here and they mined, they got whatever the hell they came here. They made us to help them, and then they got enough of whatever they came here for, and then they just said, "All right, see you later. We'll be back when we run out."
Yeah.
Right.
This place is a stock full. This place is a gold mine, and there's other, and then once they, but then again, if you think about it, right, you go a little bit deeper than that. You go a little bit deeper than that, and you figure out this cannot be the case. And I'll tell you why it doesn't work. The only reason why it doesn't work is because the freaking asteroid belt that has more than enough minerals for us to use. And if they needed to use it, why didn't they just go there? Unless, of course, it was too much of a dangerous place that they couldn't potentially mine it. There was nothing to colonate it or cultivate it or get it from that. And that's why they didn't choose it. But instead, you had this rich resource planet that they were able to make into something habitable and able to sustain, so they could potentially continue mining it of all its resources or whatever. Like, that would be the only argument, is that the asteroid belt. But I'm saying, but if that didn't work, then that was why. But yeah,
you look at Mars, and Mars shows at one point that it could have had life. So it could have been like they dried up Mars and then they moved on to Earth.
Oh yeah, that's that too. There's that one too. Like that, or Mars was the first Earth, and then it was the Then we fucked that one up, and then we moved on over. That's like the whole Doom theory, I believe, with the video game.
What if they came? What if what they came here for, like, say it was gold or whatever, right? And they created us to help them mine it or whatever, and they got all of this stuff that they could possibly want, right? And then they leave. Okay. Well, the next place they go has so much of this shit. It has 1,000 times what they just found here on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Then they're never coming back.
Yeah.
They're going to say, fuck Earth. And just move on, right? That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But yet but we're here on Earth, we don't know what they found out there, so we still think they're coming back.
Oh, it's just a failed project, that too. Like, well, these guys aren't gonna get it. We made them too dumb. They're smart,
Right.
but they're also dumb. I mean, we do smart things, right? But we do stupid shit as well. So.
Oh yeah. Well, if they created us to do their bidding, we're dumb compared to them, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, they know what's up.
I would think so. Oh my God! Richard Madsen is live on Praise's channel.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was banned.
Yeah, I thought he was banned.
They must have made peace.
Well, Richard did call him out Raging's channel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, he did.
Wait,
That was good. I'm glad he did that.
do you think what Richard said was right about Praise chewing me out with the whole thingy? I don't think it went on for a week. I think he went on from one thing and then to another thing for my videos. Because I was watching it, but I didn't say anything. Like I watched almost the whole thing. On Reggie's thing. I didn't say anything in the chat because I was gaming with my friend.
No, I didn't. I just caught the tail end of it. I fell asleep.
That wasn't that bad. It was a good show. But he was talking about that. I had to agree with him though. Like being, I hate it how because me and Richard did a show together that it seems like we're the dynamic duo or something like that. But I would agree with him. Like, and the same thing. His views are his. My views are mine. And I understand his word view. Like I said, as I'm kind of explaining it, the whole thing, it reminds me of what Richard says. It really does. And like I said, because it's a potential possibility. And that's it. It's just, I don't know, and I like hearing what Richard has to say and all that. So it's really cool to listen to him go by the text and all those other things. But yeah, like in a debate status, I think we would end up butting heads with our different biases of Christian text and worldviews and everything else. I think we would just end up butting heads.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You and Richard don't agree on everything, man.
Not everything, no. Most
and
things,
neither one of you is afraid to tell the other one that.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
I probably would hold my tongue to Richard simply because he's older. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
but Richard Richard understands.
He's a cool cat. Yep.
Well, he understands that what he's saying sounds crazy.
It really doesn't, though. It really doesn't. If you took religion completely out of it, it's literally everything that we were just talking about, essentially.
Right.
At least in my context and point of view. Like I don't want to say it is or isn't, but to me it seems like that. So, but like I said, I wouldn't. I don't think that. But I think it might be a little bit more to it. And if it's all just explaining that, then as you said, either A, they left and they ditched as haha suckers, or they're maybe they will come back eventually, depending how long it takes to come back or whatnot. Or maybe they got destroyed. They can't come back. They died.
Right. Yeah, who knows? There's no way to know, man. Yeah, maybe they went extinct.
No, they caught one of our stupid Earth diseases and they died like in War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
They caught a germ. They got the flu. And they're gone. The old gods are dead. They got a cold.
Right. The only thing I can really be sure of is that I have this life right here, right now.
Yeah.
And everything else is just speculation. I don't know, in my opinion.
True.
I think it's weird. So do you ever look at yourself and where you're at and compare it to everyone else or things along those natures?
Yeah.
Like their position in the world and what would happen to me if I was over here or over there, and if I did up and move and did this, what would happen? Or do you choose we all have those possibilities and those routes it takes, and none of it's. That's the best interesting is none of it's off the table. These thoughts that we have like that, none of it is off the table. It's all a possibility, but yet I think we choose to stay content in where we are.
Like, what if I was raised in a Middle East war zone?
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah, I've thought about that. Yep. You try and put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Yep.
Or what if I was around back during the Holocaust? Would I have hid the Jews? Would I have had big enough balls to hide Jews in my attic.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you would hide them in the attic. I'd go to the underground bunker.
Or would I not have enough balls? Would I have been one of the people that didn't have enough balls to hide them and just go along with everybody else?
Well, that
Yeah.
all depends on what your family tree was. If
Oh.
if you were a person in Germany, or
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right.
because
Go outside
your
for
whole
smoke.
mindset would be completely different during that time.
Sure. And I don't know. Even if there were people that weren't Jews that were too scared to stand up to the Nazis.
Yeah.
And so they just went along. And I like to think I would never do that. I would fight for what's right, but I don't know that that's true. Because I've never been in that position.
Yeah.
I might cave and just go along. So that's getting deep now, man.
Yeah, it's weird contemplating on those situations. Like, you really don't know what you would have actually done
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah. It's interesting. So did you have a good Father's Day, man?
Yeah, I hung out with my father-in-law, and they did some painting and stuff with him, and
Right on.
it's a good old time. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't do much.
Yeah,
Had a pretty lazy day, really. But did you just say you put your daughter to bed?
yeah,
Yeah, so you're a father.
I got two and a stepchild.
Right on. That's awesome.
So
Your woman must not be around because I can't hear her.
no, she's in bed. She's worn out today.
Right on.
So I got the living room to myself.
Yeah, right on.
You got that
Yeah,
piece
if
of
she's in the
quiet.
room, I can usually hear her in the
Yeah,
background.
she's usually either giggling about something or
Right.
That idea with the hiding the Jews, just apply it to modern day times. Let's say that some crazy people started and the government decided that gay people are to be killed, and hiding a gay person would kill you, and someone comes up to you gay, and would you hide them or not? I guess that's another way to see it. So
yeah.
try to modernize that question, and you might be able to give yourself a better answer.
Right.
Right.
Who was that? Who was that popping in and out?
I think it was Tog, wasn't it?
Oh, there were 4 people in here for a second.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
There it goes.
Is anybody else in the back?
In the backstage? I don't think so. No, I wish there was.
Oh, I thought I just saw 4 people in here a second ago. Maybe it was a ghost.
It's my other account. I'm on my phone.
Oh,
I just switched it
Oh,
off.
okay. Okay, that's what it was.
I could put it back if it make you feel better.
oh no, you're good.
The names are
That
different.
makes me. Yeah. Now I feel like there's one more person in the room.
Cool. There's this one guy, and then I'm Blinky Fart Cloud.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, the Christians today with the whole let's kill the gays and stuff really worry me. Because they are trying to get people in the government to that have their same thoughts.
Yeah, it would. What it seems to me is people on the right, not all of them, but everything would be just fine if the gays would stay in the closet and the black people would just shut up, and the Native Americans would just shut up about all this other bullshit. If everybody would just shut up about all the bullshit that's going on, everything would be just fine.
Yeah.
Can't you guys just grow up and move on? What is wrong?
Yeah.
Bringing up this old horse shit again? I think that's more or less what it is, to be honest, or some shit.
Right. But it's like
weird, though. I don't understand it.
Well, we keep bringing up this old horse shit because the old horse shit has never gone away, and you're just saying, just sweep it back under the rug and never deal with it and move on.
Don't you know that's how history happens?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't know if that would ever happen, though. It'd be really freaking weird if that did. I think it's going to be more, if it does, it's going to be non-political parties that are going to do it. Kind of like what we're seeing, but not, you know?
Right.
Like with the Proud Boys and the NIFB groups.
Yeah, I think that they're no different from like Muslims in that aspect, you know?
Yeah.
It seems more like that type of teaching than anything else. I mean, technically, you could go maybe Jewish, but that's depending on interpretation, I guess. I would say no. But then again, even if all that's like back then looked at like as a value of life, like I guess that's what they would do, right? If you're doing this thing that there's no life in you or whatnot, some crap like that.
How could there be no life in me?
I meant to say it's like godly spiritual life or whatever. Like the whole seed of Satan, kind of like what people say or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, so there are beings that have no God in them?
See, that's the conundrum, right?
Right.
Because that goes with doctrine, and I'm going to be honest with you, it really depends on how people's worldview. Because you have the whole serpent snake seed theory that says that that Cain, bloodline and all that, are the son of Satan, and then the sons of Seth and are the godly bloodline, and so the two bloodlines are at battle, at war, and then it goes down to where everyone's just a mix of the two. So like there's the inner yin and yang war going on with everyone or whatnot because of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I guess like whichever father you look at more, if you're acting like Father Satan or Father God or whatnot. I guess I don't know.
Right. So we all have a battle going on inside us between good and evil, kind of.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Right on.
I think it's like even without religion, that's true. We all have things that we succeed at and we succeed and we push for ourselves. So it's a basic truth about humans, and it's a common theme everywhere.
Right.
About that.
Right. So it could really fit any story then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I get it. Huh. Yeah. What does it all really mean, though?
True.
Yeah. If that's the case, Tog, though, then any God is viable, not just the Christian God.
Well, that's why I always say to praise them. Like, which God are we? Because it could be multiple gods that could fit the same description of, hey, follow me, you'll be saved.
Well, I guess in the same context, it would still apply. Good gods versus bad gods. And
Yeah.
I think you have both within the other pantheons, and I get the only thing that comes from the Abrahamic religion, I guess, would be the singular higher god, and this high god is the cause of all things, and that it's this one thing that is the cause of, so ultimately it's responsibility and all that, and it's odd, but it like I said, that goes within different things and on the other things and blah 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 blah.
Benghazi just put something in the outside chat. A couple books. I might have to read them if I get a chance.
What kind of books are they?
They're probably like a philosophy or something. The Power of Myth. Oh, 1,000 Faces and The Power of Myth.
Okay.
It probably has a lot to do with what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And why human beings do what they do.
Have you guys ever gone with the old-fashioned if you can't beat them, join them?
No, because then I would be a Christian.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, that's kind of maybe not exactly the same, but that's a lot like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, that doesn't mean they're right. Then you're just going along to get along.
That's true. Yes, I can
So
see
yeah,
that.
I guess that's the way I see it. You're just faking becoming one of them.
Or is it that you become their enemy and they become a part of you? Oh, ho, ho. Negotiations work both ways.
I cannot.
No.
I cannot say that that's impossible.
Well, I guess it depends on if you're on the losing side, I guess. But I was thinking about it, like maybe you guys should just say, "Oh yeah, we're Christians now, so you gotta embrace this channel."
Well, yeah.
Hey, you gotta respect me now. I'm a Christian.
In this
Right.
corner of the world.
I've actually thought about doing that, and then so let's say I went to Praise's room and pretended to be a Christian, right? Or let's say
Right.
no. Let's put it the other way around. Let's say I went into Praise's room and I converted.
Right.
You guys would never really know if I was just pretending to be a Christian or not.
Right.
Well, ultimately, I would say Christianity. Like I said, that's why I say to me, it's just a title. For me, it's more along like the actions or whatever.
Right.
So it
And
would by your actions. I would already say you are a Christian, at least around people. But then that inward batter, that's not for me. Like if whatever you do that I don't know, that's not for me to know. That's for God to know, and that's for His hands, not mine. Because
right.
whatever you present to me is whatever you present to me, and that's all I can ever know. You know.
Right. That's because this is going to sound weird. That's because I act Christ-like most of the time, except when I'm pissed off. Right? And I'm not saying by any measure that I am like Christ at all. But I just believe that that's, he was a good example, right?
Yeah.
But that
Essentially, yeah.
but that just because that's a good idea, that is not unique to Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a decent human being, doesn't and I think that's what Praise struggles with. He wants to like me because I'm a decent human being, but in the back of his mind, because of his worldview, he knows I'm a piece of shit, really. But he won't own that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say that. Like,
I know you wouldn't, because it's hard to own, but that's the way I see it. I mean, if you
no,
if you
not in the sense that I would see you. I don't know you enough to call you a piece of shit. Let me get to know you a little bit more, and tell me the bad things. I know from my bad experience. Yeah, sure, I'm considered a piece of
right,
shit,
that's
100%. But for you, I don't know you enough to call you like, well, you're being a piece of shit.
that's
At times,
that's where you're different. Praise basically thinks I'm a demon. I think.
demon possessed, not a demon. I don't think so. I
Well,
don't think. Yeah.
he thinks that all atheists, and this is what him and Gavin said this, and he agreed, and I asked him 3 times, that all atheists are, everything we say is a fabrication because we're atheists. So if you how can you hold that opinion and still want to be my friend or whatever? You know
Well,
what I
then
mean?
at that point, it's just tolerance.
Yeah.
Right. He's just tolerating me. He doesn't really, he doesn't care who I am. Other than the fact, the only reason he cares is
I'm sorry.
is
Hello, Wild Heart. Don't worry, DT. We all think you're a piece
right on.
of shit.
That's awesome.
I love Wild Heart.
Oh, that was perfect.
Thomas, I think you're a great guy.
You just broke the internet. Yeah, but you know what I'm getting at from his.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
know what you're getting at.
He wrestles with that, and I'm glad he does. I'm glad he doesn't have an easy answer for that, because that means I don't know what that means.
You
That
see,
just makes
I can't.
it makes him a better human being that he wrestles with that, having to make that decision.
It always a little bit frustrates me because Praise kind of contradicted himself, right? A little bit. And I wasn't. Don't even want to talk about that, but I noticed this last night because it's a good part of conversation. It's kind of related. And you guys brought it up, so I'm just going off of your guys' topic.
And I don't.
So it's fair to say.
To be honest, I didn't really mean to bring Praise up. It could
It's
just
fine.
go.
It's fine. It's fine. It's where the conversation went, so it's fine.
Are you talking about when Praise was with Gavin, that he gave Gavin more credit than us?
No, it was with Alien.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What I'm talking about is this conversation with Alien, and it went along the lines of where he was talking about how the Jews were, God's chosen people, and he chose these people to show him the way, and all these other things because of the promise that he gave to Abraham and Isaac and all them. That was his oath, and God keeps his word, and that's all what that is about. And he made it so forth as Praise said, the Jews were spread out all across, all the children of them were spread out through all the nations. So, and he says it's hard to trace them all back. Well, if you think if they're all a part of the nations or they're all spread out, doesn't that make the whole world part of God's people and part of God's tribe? Depending on, people might argue, well, the Jews could have never gone here and lost tribes and all that other things that go along with it. But if that's the case, and eventually some point the Jews do make it to where everyone has a little bit of Jew blood, wouldn't that make everyone already God's people? And are they not everyone in the image of God already? So why would you treat them any less different? Sure, you have your neighbors and you have your brothers, and you wouldn't necessarily treat your neighbor like your brother, but you should.
Mm-hmm.
And in that context, but you shouldn't treat any people like an enemy, and even like in Christianity, when you have the enemies, you treat them well, because it's the right thing to do, even though they have something transgressed against you or anything like that. You don't agree, you suck it up.
Yeah, and I think that Praise really does fight, especially when me and Thomas are in the room. We're talking kindly to him. We're not being assholes to him. We're treating him with respect, and I think that kind of throws him off, because we're not being some of the other atheists that he's probably has dealt with that are complete assholes to him.
That's a fair point. But I remember where I was going with it but it all goes with that when it comes to like condemnation and calling people children of the devil and all these things, and Satan, because that's like that's passing judgment that you cannot pass, because you don't know that.
Well,
And you can't just straight up say you're a child of Satan, because you're an atheist. Well,
Shut
you
up,
don't know
Satan.
that.
yeah.
You know,
What gets me about it is he pretty much denounced everything that Alien stood for, right?
Yeah.
But then he still wants to be Alien's friend, and you can't. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
If you denounce everything the dude stands for, then be done with him, man. But don't denounce everything he stands for and try to be his friend. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No.
I totally spelled religion wrong. Oh well. Yep. Holy shit! It's Nim.
Nim. Somebody was just talking about Nim. Message
Nim.
deleted, retracted.
Oh.
Yeah, you scared him away, Tog.
I did. I'm sorry.
One message, and now he's back hiding again.
Yep. Oh well.
Jesus.
Oh! I have a message from Rujita. I forgot. Just remembered.
Oh.
He says, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not coming back."
Okay. Right on. That's Vegeta.
Yep.
It's like,
I think
fuck
that
you
means
guys. I don't want to deal with your bullshit.
I miss you guys, but I love you. But y'all too much. That's how I interpret it. At least we know he's alive, or at least the person who's murdering him using his account very well. Gotta keep up those social media appearances, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's how you do it nowadays. Oh shit! Trade secrets. I'm gonna be done in.
It's an obligation. Oh my God. Tess is in Praise's side chat as absolute truth.
Who's Tess?
She's a woman that I met on Jay's channel. She is out there, man. You want to talk about out there?
Like,
She's
what's out there?
Every conspiracy theory you could ever imagine, man. Ever.
It's all connected.
Moon landing, 5G, Corona, vaccines, just everything, man, is a conspiracy. So yeah, just fascinating from
Even this conversation is actually a conspiracy too.
This whole thing is a conspiracy.
Conspiracy against whom or what?
I think I had like at least an hour-long conversation with that gal, and she was just out there.
Who? Tess?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I had a conversation with her on Praise's channel. Yeah, that was the.
Is she like Gavin or
Shit.
not Gavin? I apologize. Is she like Iger?
Iger?
Yeah.
I think she's a little more out there than Iger.
You think Iger would be
Yeah.
like, you are a disciple. You have knowledge that I need.
No, yeah,
No.
I think Iger would follow her and be like, "Yes, my queen, take me wherever you want to go."
Well, probably not Queen. I think he has a woman in his life, so probably not as far. But yeah. Tell me down the rabbit hole. I need to chase that bunny.
Yeah, she was a crazy chick.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing all these patterns, but yeah.
All these crazy people showing up on Praise's channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that.
It's like a magnet. Actually, I met Praise off of Jill's channel. Because I would only. I was. Go ahead.
I found
Holy
Praise
shit.
off of Modern Day Debate.
Now, guys, we have the Prophet Muhammad. Let's all pay our respects to the Prophet Muhammad.
I was just gonna say that. Talk with the Prophet Muhammad is in your side chat.
Please, you are most welcome, humble servant of the Lord.
Your viewership is gonna double at least now that
Yep.
you got him in here.
Yep. He came back. Maybe he is the Messiah.
Who's Prophet Muhammad?
That's I believe it's Arafel, one of Arafel's side
okay.
accounts.
Oh,
I believe. I can't confirm or deny that.
come back in here. Come back in here, RFL. Don't be shy.
Yeah, the vampires.
Don't be shy. We won't bite you much.
Yeah.
But it all depends. Like some vampires also are seen as like immortals as well.
They are immortals as long as they feed off the blood of man.
And they don't get out in the sun too much or get trapped in a garlic field before sunrise or something.
The garlic field doesn't work.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you know from experience, Red Fang. You've killed a couple of vampires yourself.
Dude, vampires and werewolves are my fucking thing, bro.
That's his thing. That's his area of expertise.
Everybody has his thing.
I wish I was a werewolf.
And that's his.
Really? I wouldn't. Well, given the faction of you don't recognize your own people and you kill them by accident, like, I wouldn't think that would be so swell. Unless you're talking about the lithoscope, where it's different and you can transform and have the conscience and all that.
That's if you're a new werewolf. If you're a new werewolf, you have to teach yourself to control.
You're reminding me of what is it, like Blood and Chocolate? I love that book.
Fuck Blood and Chocolate. That pissed me off so bad.
Oh, did it? The movie pissed me off more than the fucking.
But when they turned into wolves, I was like, that is not a wolf. That is a loup-garou. You motherfuckers. That is not a werewolf.
That's true.
Get
That's
the
true.
fuck out of here.
Yeah, Tog. Look, if you look and praise the side chat, that absolute truth she just said, God knows every particles that moves or does not move in everything. Nothing has absolute privacy because God watches with love consistently and constantly. That's her. That's how
God's
she's
big brother.
Except where God hides his face.
She's she's interesting.
Let me put it, except when God.
Everything God deems necessary is hardcore absolute love for our benefit. For God needs nothing, depends on nothing.
Well,
but he values a loving relationship with human beings.
There's a Gnostic saying that I have that kind of aligns to what she's saying. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it's essentially kind of the same thing. Let me see. It goes blessings on you who are alone and chosen, for you will find the kingdom. You have come from it and you will return to it. I have come from the light, a place from where the light came into being by itself, established itself, and appeared in the image. I am its child and its chosen of the living Father. If they ask you what is the evidence of your Father, say to them it is motion and rest. And the whole thing with motion and rest goes into this thing about physics and particles and like everything she's talking about, because it talks about like the state of things, and that everything that is motion and everything that is at rest, that is everything that God is. So there is nothing that is that isn't God, because everything is God in that aspect. Or it goes along, I believe, but I can't remember. I haven't fucking looked it up and done the back work yet that much. So don't take my word
There's
for it.
just too many crazy people on the Christianity thing. That's why I could never go back to it.
Well, there's enough crazy people without Christianity, so there's no reason to be an atheist in that aspect, because you're like, well, if you don't want
but
to
an
go in it for
atheist,
the
I can be
crazy people,
just be myself. I'm not in a group. I'm not.
you know, well, that's fair. You don't put yourself in a group in the same way as I don't like to put myself in a group. So that's fair. Even in the same of Christianity, I wouldn't put. You can always do the non-denominational Christian, which is I have no alliance to any affiliation or whatnot, which is fine, because then you're free to say whatever. It's like a Christian, as long as you say like, oh yeah, Christ came or whatnot. Most Christians won't give you a hassle.
Jesus is real. I believe him. Okay, but down your sticks.
Seriously, I think it's odd. I think for most Christians, if like they'll come at you with like Bible verses, and you have to say the Bible verse, and if like you don't say it, then you're not a Christian or some shit.
Yeah.
But like you have to justify it and say it. So if you go as far as to say it, then they like leave you alone. Like, okay, he said it, and that's it. Or like and then they school you. But I think that's just natural, because that's just human thing, passing along information and all that. So I don't think there's anything by it. I just think that's natural. But you never know. If people are like, all right, cool. I think it all depends on the person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just hate the whole, hey, every atheist, all Christians. It's like, oh, come on, guys. Let's hold back on that.
Use that some, throw that
Yeah,
some
some.
charity. Most. Not all. That's another one. Raging Atheist does that sometimes. He'll do that. Sometimes he'll lumps, but then sometimes he'll separate. He's kind of both in all aspects, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I like him too.
I've had to call out praise on that a couple times now. Because he does use all.
Yeah, broad sleeping generalizations. I don't like them. I don't like being generalized and broad. Like on my I don't freaking want to be freaking grouped in with people that, especially if I didn't do it. Like kind of like what Gavin did with with Jill, or how he said I was back talking Jill and whatnot, and I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, the whole bringing up like Stalin, it's like, okay, that was Stalin, not me. I'm not killing a whole bunch of people. That's why I like to throw back, well, Hitler. Hitler was a Catholic, so right back to you. There's horrible people on every side you look.
And then the people are like, well, he was non-practicing, but I don't know that. And so it doesn't count.
But the Catholic Church celebrated his birthday until after he died.
It's 4/20, dude. Of course they will. It's pot day. Come on now, shit.
Yeah, he ruined that day for a lot of potheads.
God, I remember that being such a big fucking deal in high school, right? Oh, 420. Oh, yuck. You gotta smoke at 420 on 420 because it's 420. 420.
Yeah, 420 for me was not a good day for our school, because my school was like 5 miles away from Columbine, so 420 wasn't a very good day for our school. And we were on the hit list of schools to get hit.
Someone says The Prophet Muhammad says, Jesus Christ is a holy man, not God. Well, of course he's a holy man. Did you not know how many nails they put into him?
The question is, did they stick it in his hand or in his wrist?
Why not have both?
Well, they did his wrist, because if they did his hands would have just fell. The stake would have just gone through.
Yeah, ripped off, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are consensus to say they could have tied his arms and whatnot, if you see in some of the art displays. So he was actually supported by the weight of the ropes and not on his wrist, so that would make more sense. They tied him down to it, so he couldn't really move. And if the weight's off there, if you put the weight somewhere else, then yeah, the tension, so the pressure's off at the feet, so you're bleeding out, but you're not supported by it.
Yeah.
Like hanging like a rat. Or like a freaking vermin waiting to be skinned alive and peeled. The kid is not my son. She said I am the one. Alright, let me see what time it is. I might have to get off here for bed.
12:41.
It's 12:41 for me, so I am gonna end this stream and call it a night.
All right.
Maybe I'll jump on praises, just cause see what's going on over there. But
Right on.
Deal with the craziness.
Yep, I will talk to you fine gentlemen later.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
See you later. Thanks.
You guys for coming on, and everyone in the side chat. Have a good one all. Bye bye.
Peace.